the channel, man. Today we're gonna be working on the Blazer again. As you guys know, recently we sprayed this front bumper and it came out amazing, dude. I really like the look, and now we need to get the rear bumper caught up to the front bumper. Yeah, we need to get rid of this chrome, in other words, but this one's gonna be a little bit more work than what the front bumper was. I'm gonna go ahead and get it off and then we'll talk about it. Alright, got this thing all stripped down and off of the Blazer. So what we're needing to do is fill in all of these freaking holes. So I want to paint this thing. I want to make it look like the front bumper, but this is one of those bumpers that had the little rubber trim that went all the way around it. And we're not going to be putting that rubber trim back on there. I just want that smooth, clean bumper look, you know? And to get that look, we are definitely going to have to fill in all these damn holes. So unfortunately, but it's all good, man. This should be a pretty simple process. So what I'm going to do is try to find, ideally I would have a piece of copper, but I don't have any. I do have aluminum, so I'm going to try to find a relatively thick piece of aluminum that we can kind of clamp and use as a backer. So I'll clamp it on this side flush and then flip it over and weld it from this side. So I might need to put a little bit of body filler in them to like completely get rid of it, because there'll probably be some little pits or holes or something in it. I don't know, but yeah, in order to do that, I need to clean all the paint off of the backside so that we can actually weld it. Found a big old chunker out there, boy. It's a 1/4 inch aluminum, so that should actually work pretty good. I'll put a clamp on both sides and then fill it in, clamp on both sides, fill it in, and then just so on and so on and so on. But the big question is, am I gonna have enough gas to get through this? Because as you guys know, Braven has done a whole lot of welding. And of course that boy's at work right now, because if he was here and I was out of gas, I'd be like, go fill it up. But I know how my luck goes, so I shouldn't have said any of this, because I'm probably jinxing myself. Woo! Wow! Alright, so definitely not the prettiest thing in the world, but like I said, on the front side we'll have to just, you know, grind it a little bit, smooth it out, put a little bit of body filler in there, and once you sand it, you'll never see her again, Betty. So I do need to continue messing with the welder and figure out a good setting, because it's just spitting and popping. I don't know if I've got, I think the heat is fine. I think I have the wire speed way too fast. Alright, got all these damn holes filled in, man, and got it all sanded smooth. Well, not sanded, I got it all ground smooth. Baby! You gotta check it out, man. Ooh. It's actually pretty impressive. There used to be holes and now there's not.
Dang.
Dang. Dang! Would you look at that? Yeah, now I gotta go through and do a little bit of body filler inside of the little pits. A little swipe. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And we're back. It is the next day. So as you guys seen, I put 3 colors on both bumpers. And yes, nobody knows more than I do that I already had this one done. So I started to kind of like sand on it last night, do a little bit of wet sanding. But yeah, it wasn't quite dry enough yet. But it is now the next day. These have had plenty enough time to dry. And just so you know, I used a very fast drying paint. Oh, well, I put accelerator inside of the paint to make it dry faster. So these are good and dried. You are not gonna put a fingerprint or nothing inside of this. That is done, son. Anyhow, we are going to be going with my original idea of wanting to sand and expose those colors that are underneath. So I went with the black. I went with basically silver that I added some of this color to just to make it look like this color, but like faded from the sun, you know? And then of course, the original color that I had this bumper sprayed in the first place. That's what we're gonna be doing. So I'm actually really excited for this. I've never done this before. I've seen it done and I was excited to do it the last time we painted this bumper, and then yeah, we just never ended up doing it. But I've decided now I am doing it. And yes, I realize that I just said the word decided quite a few times. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes a word pops into your head. Like I think it's just when I'm recording. I've noticed it happens to Braven too. And it's like you just use that same word over and over and over and over. And there's always some freaking grammar Nazi in the comments. It's like excited. We'll put in, you know, quotations or whatever word it is. Anyhow, let's get into sanding, buddy. I think I need to start off with a much heavier grit. This is 320 grit where I was just using 1500-ish grit with that Scotch-Brite. And I can tell it's gonna take a long time to break through the color. So I'm gonna hit it with 320 and then go back to the Scotch-Brite. Alright, so as you can see, as I am sanding, I am revealing that lighter color that's underneath. And then if I go a little bit further than that lighter color, we're going to start exposing the black. I have a lot of that lighter color on all the little body lines and stuff inside of the bumper. So I want to try to expose a little bit more of that black now just to give it that much more detail. So you see like right here, how that genuinely looks like it's just, you know, been rubbed on or whatever for years, you know, it just has like an aged look to it. So that is exactly what it is we're going for. I kind of want this to travel up the bumper a little bit, so I'm going to focus on this flat spot, not just on the body line. But I'll show you. So you see you have the lighter color there. Now if I focus on it for a little longer, then we're gonna start exposing the black. Now I gotta be careful whenever I start seeing the black coming through, because after that is metal, which that could also be cool if you sand it enough to expose metal in some areas, depending on how much you want, of course. Then you can allow that exposed steel to rust, and then it'll just add even more to that like aged look that you're going for, you know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna do that today, because if I'm being honest with you, I don't have that much time. I want to clear coat these today. So I wasn't paying attention and I came over here and I took a drink out of my Red Bull, and I noticed very quickly that that's my Red Bull from last night. That's my Red Bull from right now. Man. Well, I guess if I'm being honest, it actually didn't taste too terribly bad. Yeah. I'm just glad there wasn't a bug in it. Anyhow, I got these things all ready. Wiped them down with alcohol. They are ready for clear coat. The clear coat is when all of this is gonna really pop. Because right now they're just really dull from obviously being sanded, you know what I mean? Like whenever you get this wet with like alcohol, it pops. Like whenever you guys know. Anyhow, I got some clear coat mixed up. It's a little different than normal because it's tinted. You guys can see that. I hope this is gonna be enough. I actually doubt this is gonna be enough. This I mixed up as a sample. I wanted to kind of gauge how much black I should put in the clear coat, and I sprayed this piece. This is the little filler piece that goes kind of underneath the rear bumper. It fills in a little space, you know, between the rear bumper and the tailgate. You really hardly see any of it. I wanted to use something to kind of get an idea of how dark this is going to be, because I don't want to completely dilute out the colors. Like I don't want to paint it black. If you put too much black in your clear, it will get too dark. That's 3 coats and you can still see the color. So I'm pretty happy with the amount that I put in there, which was literally just a couple drops. So all right, I wanted to show you guys this so you understand what it is I'm talking about. I just mixed up a little bit more clear, and this is the same container that I mixed up the last batch, so it does have a little bit of black, and that's why it's kind of cloudy. It's also kind of cloudy because this is not gloss clear, this is actually satin clear. I'm literally just gonna put a couple drops, dude. Well, a drop, just about that much. Now with that in there, as you can see, it looks like it's just black, but it's very translucent because there is a very small amount of black in there. I'll use the clean side of the stick. So you want, whenever you put your stick in there, you want to be able to see the tint in the clear, but you don't want it to be too terribly dark to where it looks like you're dipping the stick in the black paint. So with it like this, every coat that you put on, it's going to get slightly darker. So you can add more black, obviously, if you want it to be darker than this, but I like it to be very subtle so that I can kind of control it as I'm putting it on. If I want it to be darker, I just put another coat, you know what I'm saying? But anyhow, I decided to go ahead and mix up a little bit more, because I know that wasn't going to be enough to coat both of these bumpers, because we're going to be doing 3 coats like everything else. I'm not gonna lie, bro, these things actually look pretty good being all glossy and shiny, but I think whenever this this clear coat actually dries and it becomes a satin, this finish that we have here is gonna just pop so much better, and I need to go and get rid of the freaking hissing. Oh my god, that's gonna drive me nuts. Shut up, motherfucker. So this is what they look like right now. Go ahead and give you guys a look. Dude, I am so happy I decided to go with this. Holy freaking shit, that just hits so much different than just being all solid one color, you know what I mean? Just the detail in it, I absolutely freaking love this. And what's cool about it is, on top of that, like, if it was to get scratched, like, you're really not going to notice it. It's not going to be a huge deal. It'll just kind of blend in with the whole look of the Blazer, you know? I don't know. But anyhow, I really dig it. Throw in the comments down below what it is you guys think, of course. But what's important is I really like it because it's my Blazer. But anyhow, I'll show you guys in probably about an hour, 2 hours, whenever they dry, and that shine is gone. So, as you can see, it's not as shiny, but there's definitely still some shine. It's just, it's not a high gloss, you know? You don't have like that high gloss, like mirrored reflection. So it still has a shiny look to it, but it's more of like a dull, you know? I don't know, I think it's perfect for what the Blazer is. And going with this like dingy, kind of weathered look, it just fits, man. I'm actually really stoked about this. So we're not gonna be putting the bumpers back on the Blazer today. I don't know if it's kind of obvious, but the Blazer's about ready to do, let's just say the Blazer is about to come into the booth as well. But you guys aren't going to see that until next week. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Peace. And I'll see you guys on the next one.